Hello, I'm Kimberly of Happy Gals Vintage. Nice to see you there today, wherever you are in the world watching. I really appreciate it. And today I wanted to talk to you about highly collectible teacups, specifically antique teacups and limited edition teacups, and just antiques in general and what makes them so collectible. Now at Happy Gals Vintage, my online shop on Etsy, I do have a lot of vintage items, but I have a lot of antique items as well. And I have some of them on the table in front of me right now, and I thought it would be fun to share them with you today. And specifically a couple of my favorites that are absolutely spectacular. They are teacups, and they're in the shop right now, and I just wanted to share them with you. Now, before I share those antique teacups with you, let's talk about what makes something an antique. An antique item is an item that is 100 years old or older. Now, right now when I'm shooting this video, it's 2021, and so anything from 1921 or older would be considered an antique. Now, when I was younger, 100 years sounded like a really long time to me. Like an antique sounded like something that was just absolutely ancient. But as I get a little older, that tends to be less and less the case. I was born in 1970, and my mother Jamie, who is no longer with us, was born in 1950, and her mother, my grandmother Mona, was born in 1930, and her mother, my great-grandmother Mary, was born in 1910. And I got to know all of these wonderful women for very many years of my life. And my great-grandmother Mary, I got to know right up into my 20s. And she was a really amazing woman, and she told me lots of stories about when she used to ride in the horse-drawn wagon, and when the first cars started to come into town, and the first time she got to ride in an automobile, and the first time that she rode on a train by herself all the way to the big city of Chicago. And she had all these great stories, and stories of dressing up in sort of the flapper kind of outfits. She still had a lot of those clothes in her closet from the 1920s and the 1930s with the fringe and the really long beads. And so she had a lot of fun with that and considered herself a flapper. So my point with all this history of my family is that antiques are old, but maybe not quite as old as they seem. There are quite a few antiques still floating around that you can find at, of course, antique stores, but also at flea markets and thrift shops and estate sales and even yard sales sometimes. So treasure hunting for antiques can be fun. Now, the two antique teacups that I'm going to share with you right now, I actually did buy from an antique dealer in a town not too far from me here in central Vermont. And they are by T&V Limoges, and they're from France, and they are just incredible. They're in the Happy Gals Vintage shop right now. And if you're interested in these two teacups that I'm going to talk about, or any of the other items that you'll see here on the table in front of me, go ahead and take a look at my Happy Gals Vintage shop. There will be a link in the description below this video. And even if you're watching this video down the road and these items may have already sold, I'm always getting more antique items and incredible vintage items into the Happy Gals Vintage shop. So still go and check it out, because you'll probably find some incredible treasures there. In fact, I'm sure you will find some incredible treasures at Happy Gals Vintage for your collection. Now, this teacup that I'm holding, I love because it has this wonderful gold foot, and it has double handles. So it's sort of like a soup style teacup. And the thing that I really love about it is the soft, muted design of daisies that runs all along this gold gilded teacup. And on the saucer, Look at how gorgeous this saucer is. So pretty. And there's no damage on this antique teacup. Somebody took such good care of it over the years in their collection. There's no chips, there's no cracks. I don't even see a tiny bit of crazing, which usually on an antique teacup of 100 years or older, you're going to find a little bit of minor crazing at least, and sometimes a lot. Well, that is the first one, and then this is another one by the same company, T&V. Did I say TJ before? It's not right if I did. T&V Limoges of France. And this one has this purple violets design on it. And it's just pretty. So, so pretty. Goes around the cup. Pretty purple. I love the purple. And again, we have the double handle teacup, which is unique. You don't find a lot of those. And here it is, the saucer. Just so beautiful. You know, these two teacups just have so much class to them, and you can just feel the age of the teacup. And again, there's no cracks or chips on this teacup. Really, really pretty gold gilded teacup. Now, antiques are a really great thing to collect because they go up in value over time. The older an item gets, and it's been well taken care of and preserved, the more history it has and the more appealing to many collectors. Another thing that can make porcelain and fine bone china items more collectible is if they are a limited edition piece. And this teacup that I'm going to share with you next is an example of a limited edition teacup. This one is not an antique. It was made in 1939 by Wedgwood. And if you are a vintage teacup collector, you probably know about Wedgwood, or even if you just collect vintage porcelain items, not just teacups, you probably recognize the Wedgwood here with the white and the blue sort of embossed raised design. However, you may not recognize this particular teacup that Wedgwood made because it's a limited edition. There were only 3,000 of them made, and this is actually numbered number 121 of 3,000, and it was made by the Wedgwood Company for the British aristocracy, the royalty of England in 1939, King George and Queen Elizabeth, and it was made to commemorate, can I say commemorate? To commemorate their trip to the United States, their first official visit to the United States, to the government and the President of the United States at the time. And they had these teacups made, a limited edition set of these teacups made to give as a gift to the United States when they came to visit. And there is a wonderful portrait, a silhouette portrait, although it has some detail in it in the face, of King George. And on the opposite side is Queen Elizabeth. And on the teacup, right in the design, they have 1939 with an eagle emblem. And how fun is this teacup? Oh my goodness, I was so excited when I found it. And the person I purchased it from gave me a great deal, but he was also really excited about this teacup. He had never come upon something quite this special. And the fact that it's number 121 of only 3,000, and in all my years of collecting, I've never come upon another one of these. So I don't know how many of them are still floating around. How many have survived? I don't know. So if you are interested in this teacup, oh, and by the way, it has no cracks or chips. There is some very light crazing. If you get it in the bright, bright light, you can see a tiny bit of crazing, but it's so minimal, it's hard to see. And other than that, this teacup is perfect. So if you are interested in the Wedgwood teacup, the Royal Wedgwood teacup from 1939, It is available in Happy Gals Vintage already right now. I've already listed it. And you can go to the link in the description below this video and just click. It'll take you right into the shop. And if at the time you're watching this video, no one has purchased the teacup yet, it will be there. You'll see it. You may see it right on the front page, or you can click into the teacup section and see all the vintage and antique teacups that I have available, and that one as well. I am not sure how long that particular one is going to last because it's pretty special. Now remember, all of these items that I have on the table in front of me are available at Happy Gals Vintage right now at the moment I'm shooting this video, including, oh, I also have a Mustache cup. I don't know if you have seen one of these before or not, but they're pretty fun, and there are a few antique Mustache teacups floating around. Back in the day, a long time ago, gentlemen had really big mustaches, right? And that was sort of a style to see like how big and how, you know, you would curl it and wax it and do crazy things to style your mustache. And so if you were drinking tea or some other hot beverage, you didn't want to drink because the fluid would get into your mustache and melt your mustache wax and make a big mess. And so they made these teacups or mugs. Some of them are teacups. This one's a mug that actually had a little section that would block the fluid. It would let some of the fluid come through, but not enough to mess up your mustache. And so your mustache would sort of fit into the cup and it would be protected. You could sip your coffee or your tea without messing up all the work you did to style your mustache. So this antique mustache mug is available in Happy Gals Vintage right now. So those are all the vintage and antique items from Happy Gals Vintage that I wanted to specifically showcase and share with you today. But before we wind up the video, I also want to remind you of my other Etsy shops. I have a shop called How She Loves Us, and I sell handmade rosaries that I create myself, and I am wearing one of them right now, this sort of bronze bead with citrine crystals, natural citrine crystals in it, and a bronze cross, little Mary emblem in the middle. Rosaries are really wonderful jewelry to wear because they just are a statement piece, but you can also use them in meditation or in prayer. And there is a link in the description below this video for the How She Loves This shop, so you can click in there and see all of the rosaries that I have in there, all one-of-a-kind handmade rosaries that I make myself. And my other shops I want to remind you of are my Crystal Wand Maker shop and my Elements 5 shop. And a couple of the items that are in there right now that have just recently been created, so they're brand new to the shop, are some crystal wands. And this one is in the Crystal Wand Maker shop. I had to think for a second, which shop did I put this one in? The Crystal Wand Maker shop is full of crystal wands that I have made all myself. They are all one of a kind, handmade. And this one that I just recently put in the shop is a Tree of Life crystal wand, a Prosperity and Good Luck wand, and it has lots of really pretty natural green crystals in it. It has malachite and aventurine and jade and turquoise, just to name a few. And it even has green tourmaline at the top around the quartz crystal tip. Really pretty, beautiful wand. And they're really nice to hold, and they make great gifts. So if you're interested in this wand or to see more wands from the Crystal Wand Maker shop, the link is in the description below this video. And this crystal wand I also made recently, but it's listed in my Elements 5 shop. And there are some wands in the Elements 5 shop. There are also natural collectible crystals and crystal jewelry and paintings and really sort of magical vintage items, all kinds of fun things in the Elements 5 shop. This one is particularly for meditation, and it has an Om emblem in the middle that's surrounded by a lotus flower. So really, really pretty. And we have amethyst in this one. And let's see what's in there. So sodalite, rose quartz, just and an aquamarine tip. Beautiful collectible piece of art. I mean, I have customers who just purchase these to collect them as a piece of art, and they don't use them for anything else. Although this one you could use in meditation or crystal healing or Reiki or that type of thing. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video today about antiques and limited edition teacups. And if you liked this video, please click the like button that's below the video. It is very helpful to me, my channel, and my shops. And also, if you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel. And that way, whenever I make a new video about similar types of things, vintage items, antique items, art items, handmade items, all that fun stuff, you will know and you can watch the video and share in the fun. Now, wherever you are out there in the world watching this video, I want to thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate all of my customers for Happy Gals Vintage and my other Etsy shops. Thank you so much. And I hope that all of you have a really wonderful day.